Okay, let's follow up on that story from Latta, South Carolina, where Mayor Earl Bullard fired Police Chief Crystal Moore last week after issuing her 7 reprimands in one day, which happened to be the only reprimands she received in her 20-year career with the Latta police force. It turned out, and the all reasonable indications are that actually homophobia was the reason for the firing. There's a city councilor who recorded Mayor Bullard talking about how the chief's lifestyle is disgusting and his sexual orientation, and how he would much rather have someone who is a drunk alcoholic taking care of his kid than someone who is a lesbian. Well, the city council there has now voted to unanimously support fired police chief Crystal Moore by delaying the hiring of a new police chief, I think for 60 days initially, or 60 days or 2 months. And what's fascinating to me is this actually doesn't seem like it's happening because of an overwhelming support for LGBT rights in Latta, South Carolina, although for some people, clearly that's important. It's really happening because this was a police chief that seems to be well respected, and her sexual orientation just wasn't an issue, which is actually the way it should be.
Right. That seems to make a lot more sense. I mean, it's just far better to keep someone in office or in the police department because they're good at their job instead of just because they happen to be of a sexual orientation that you think needs to be prominent.
But by the way, Lewis, how backwards do you have to be to prefer drunks watch your kids than a responsible woman who happens to be a lesbian?
I think you have to be, I don't know, insane, or I don't know, or you just are very fond of drunks. I'm not really sure.
Here's the last bit of data on this. Last week, the council voted in favor of a referendum that would actually weaken the power of the mayor's office and strengthen the power of the city council. There will be a vote on this by city residents 60 days from now. It would be so epic if the mayor's power is reduced altogether as a result of this boneheaded move where the mayor can still be the mayor, but they're just not going to be able to do very much.
Well, they certainly shouldn't be able to fire people at will for no reason. So if that's something that gets changed, that's for the better.
Remember, it is legal to fire people in South Carolina for being gay, but in spite of that, those aren't the reasons that were stated by the mayor, which I guess is progress. He at least feels guilty enough not to say he's firing her for being gay. He's only doing it and citing other reasons. It's a tiny baby step in the right direction. Let's take a break. Make sure to check out Patreon, patreon.com/David Pakman Show. It's a cool new way to support the work we do on YouTube. That's patreon.com/David Pakman Show. Back after this with more stories as well as your voicemails. This program is supported directly by you. Please go to davidpakman.com/membership to become a supporter today and get a whole bunch of great member benefits while doing it.